Misdirection is the key to survival. Never attack what your enemy defends, never behave as your enemy expects, and never reveal your true strength. If knowledge is power, then to be unknown is to be unconquerable. This uniquely Romulan philosophy is reflected in every aspect of their civilization. Though active on the galactic stage for centuries, to outsiders their actions remain a riddle, wrapped in a mystery, inside an enigma. The complex interplay between their ancient traditions, modern dogma, fierce nationalism, and predilection towards subterfuge can at times result in harmful, self-defeating policies and attitudes. But when acting in concert with one another, the capabilities of the Romulan state are formidable and vast. Romulan philosophy takes many forms and is expressed in many ways, but has never been honed to a finer point than in the preeminent starship of their naval fleets, the Dederedex-class Warbird. The designation of Warbird is at times unclear due to the lack of any direct comparison within Federation or neighboring starfleets. They are often designated battlecruisers or heavy cruisers by neighboring powers, but such classifications do not wholly capture their unique role and intended purpose. Within the Romulan usage, it primarily refers to starships designed foremost for military operations, fleet actions, and force projection, but with a substantial secondary function as transports, command vessels, or even platforms for clandestine reconnaissance, scientific research, and exploration. In this role, the Dederedex may be one of the most successful warbirds to ever enter mass production. Even when compared to Starfleet's leading exploratory cruisers, the capabilities of a Dederedex class are formidable. Its success in these areas can be correlated with the Warbird's immense size. 1,042 meters in length, 285 meters tall, a beam of 772 meters, and a mass of roughly 4.3 million metric tons make the Dederedex class one of the largest warships in service within any major Alpha or Beta quadrant power. It is roughly twice the length of its major contemporary rivals, including the Federation Galaxy class, the Klingon Vulture class, or the Cardassian Galore class, and with exponentially greater tonnage. The physical arrangement of the Dederedex class includes the distinctive forward-swept wings emblematic of Romulan designs since at least the 22nd century. In a departure from earlier and subsequent classes, however, the Dederedex features two sets of wings connected by a prominent bow section, secondary stern section, and warp nacelles on the port and starboard sides. The result is a remarkable split shell, in which the bulk of the vessel is formed around a large open space. Avian influences are additionally evident in the Warbird's forward hull, which evokes a predatory visage, common across Romulan culture. Within this section are the majority of the Warbird's primary systems, including its command bridge, computer core, navigational deflector, and main armament. Impulse engines, shuttle bays, and a secondary armament are located within the aft structure. Engineering sections and nullifier cores, a key component of the ship's faster-than-light propulsion, are located on the upper wing, with cargo bays and modular, mission-specific systems typically on the lower wing. Romulan misinformation campaigns, however, designed to obfuscate the capabilities of the Dederedex, along with variations among ships of the class, mean that substantial deviations have been observed in the supposed placement of these systems. In contrast to most other ships of its size and capability, the Dederedex does not utilize a matter-antimatter reaction to generate power, relying instead on an artificial quantum singularity. This method frees the Romulan Star Empire from relying on rare dilithium deposits, but does result in a slightly slower top speed and more intensive maintenance regimens. Additionally, in the event a Dederedex is destroyed, or its propulsion systems damaged, the singularity can grow unstable, emitting unpredictable and dangerous phenomena. A Warbird's major tactical systems include 6 disruptor arrays and 2 plasma torpedo launchers. Certain production blocks alter this armament, with some vessels featuring 10 disruptors and a single launcher. Regardless, these weapon systems are highly configurable, with the disruptors capable of cyclic or sustained output, and the torpedoes adjustable to various yields. A Dederedex's offensive element is centered across the vessel's bow, making it well suited towards pursuits and anti-starship warfare. Its secondary armaments are situated across the wings and stern, and are largely reactive or defensive in nature. Armor plating and deflector shields constitute the Warbird's defensive systems. As a consequence of its enormous size and comparatively limited maneuverability, the ship has been designed to absorb immense amounts of firepower. The renowned Romulan cloaking device, however, is the most sophisticated and powerful offensive or defensive system aboard a Dideridex-class warbird. When used in favorable conditions, this device renders the vessel completely invisible to every method of detection. Numerous factors have the potential to reduce the effectiveness of the cloak, necessitating the careful monitoring of electromagnetic emissions, the ship's quantum singularity, and natural interstellar phenomena. Speeds over Warp 6 likewise increase the likelihood of detection, while the ship's weapons and shields remain completely inoperable so long as the cloaking device is in use. The standard complement for a Dideridex-class warbird is 1,500 personnel. Automation allows ships to function even while greatly undercrewed, while its size affords it the ability to carry several thousand more troops while acting as a transport vessel. To maintain a culture of discipline and readiness, quarters aboard are comparatively spartan, with only officers enjoying slightly greater amenities. Certain formal areas and flag facilities are meant to accommodate high-ranking officers and allow the class to serve as command ships for larger battle groups or operations. The development of the Dideridex class was almost certainly a response to the establishment of the pivotal Klingon-Starfleet alliance, and intended to deter or destroy the most advanced starships of either power. Reflecting its intended pivotal role within the Romulan fleet and its prestigious nature, the Warbird is believed to have been named for Praetor Dideridex, the leader of the Romulan Star Empire during its war against United Earth. The ships were constructed largely in secret throughout a period of Romulan isolationism that occurred in the mid-24th century. The Dideridex was revealed to the United Federation of Planets, and by extension the Alpha and Beta Quadrants, in 2364. It was designated by Starfleet a B-type warbird in lieu of any public Romulan designation. Its debut signaled a new era of Romulan interventionism, and ships of the class would play pivotal roles in numerous military, diplomatic, and scientific encounters for the next several decades. The ship's enormous armament ensured that its mere presence in any given situation reflected a severe escalation on the part of the Romulan Star Empire. Romulan involvement in the Klingon Civil War of 2367 and attempted covert operations against the Vulcans a year later were reliant on the mobilization of Dideridex-class warbirds. In both instances, and many others, these ships directly confronted their Klingon or Starfleet counterparts, at times even exchanging weapons fire. While operated mainly by the Romulan military, Dideridex-class warbirds were also utilized by the Tal Shiar, the Star Empire's intelligence agency and secret police. Their most prominent use by the Tal Shiar was during a preemptive strike against the emerging power of the Dominion, an aggressive state located in the newly accessible Gamma Quadrant. 5 warbirds, together with allies in the Obsidian Order, the Cardassian Union's own intelligence service, attempted to decapitate the Dominion's leadership. The ensuing battle, however, was a trap, resulting in the greatest massacre of Romulan life in decades. It was during the subsequent Dominion War between 2374 and 2375 that the Dideridex saw its first full-scale wartime use. The largest warships present within Alliance fleets, these warbirds were decisive and claimed many victories against Cardassian, Dominion, and later Breen forces. While the effectiveness of Romulan cloaking technology faded as countermeasures were developed, Dideridex warbirds remained one of the few classes of ship able to engage and destroy the largest Dominion warships during one-on-one encounters. For this reason, they were considered priority targets and suffered many losses. By the end of the conflict, however, the Dideridex class had fully earned the formidable reputation cultivated over the preceding decades. Lessons learned over the course of the Dominion War led to the development of the Valdor-class warbird, a new, advanced design intended to supplement and perhaps eventually replace the Dideridex. The destruction of Romulus in 2387 by the Hobus supernova threw the Romulan Star Empire into chaos, and the disposition of naval forces commanded by its successor states remains largely unknown. Smaller warbirds, echoing the birds of prey used during the 22nd and 23rd centuries, seem to have regained favor, and it is possible that the Romulan Free State and the other successors to the Star Empire simply no longer have the means to operate the immense Dideridex. But misdirection is the key to survival, and the Romulans never reveal their true strength. It is one of the few ships in the galaxy able to hide in plain sight, and how many warbirds might be cloaked in the orbit of Romulan worlds, waiting for the moment when they can once again reveal themselves to the galaxy. For if knowledge is power, then to be unknown is to be unconquerable.
Thank you to our patrons for selecting the D'Deridex-class Warbird as the topic of this investigation. If you'd like to help decide the focus of future episodes, a pledge of just $2 a month on our Patreon will get you a vote. Additionally, the Templin Institute is currently in the midst of commissioning our own D'Deridex-class Warbird. If you'd like to follow along with its progress, be sure to follow us on social media. You'll find the link in the description.